and welcome to another To It for Media feature interview. I am Jhaka, and today I am joined by Madam Chief Registrar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mrs. Michelle John-Theobalds, and we are discussing the 2024 law year set to commence on Friday, January 12th, with grand activities joined in by the entire Caribbean region, more specifically, I should say, to the Eastern Caribbean and, of course, including the BVI. We have those discussions and more after this quick break.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. As mentioned before the break, we are joined by Mrs. Michelle John-Theobalds. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well. Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking you for having me on this afternoon and wishing you, your staff, and listeners a very happy 2024.
Thank you so much. We have so much planned for this year, and I know for certain your office reflects similar sentiments. Tell us a bit about what 2024 is looking like for the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and an outlook, of course, for the 2024 new year.
Well, I think it coincides with our theme for this year's opening of the law year. It's innovation and justice reform, the ECSC looking to the future. And that really sums up what our 24 really looks like. Over the past few years, under the leadership of Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice Pereira, who of course you would know hails from the BVI, the court has been on a trajectory that has focused on digitization and technology. And we continue in 2024 with our innovation and judicial reform. So that's what 2024 looks like for us. That's what the horizon for 2024 looks like for us.
Amazing. Now, of course, that is a very timely theme based on where the region is going technologically. But what was the thought process behind this theme for 2024?
When we looked at the initiatives that the court has embarked on for the past few years, we've noticed that there has been a lot of focus on technology and the advancements to the administration of justice where technology is concerned. We've had our e-litigation portal that has now been rolled out throughout every member state and territory of the Eastern Caribbean. We have most of our sittings by Zoom. Of course, the pandemic sort of pushed us in that direction. But it also gave us the thrust to realize that there is so much more using technology that we as a court can do. And when we were considering the relevant themes, we realized that this would be fitting because it really speaks to not only what the court has done over the past year or the past few years, but also where the court and the world at large is heading, where technology is concerned.
All right. Now, you mentioned the e-litigation portal. Could you tell us a bit about how that has performed in recent years?
It has really revolutionized the manner in which we, I should say the legal fraternity and the court can really do business where filings and case management is concerned, because it is a software that was specifically designed for the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. So therefore, it meets all our needs. It is a filing system. It's a service system It's also a case management system, not only for the registry or the court office, but also for lawyers and litigants who may use the system. So it came in at a very good time because, as you would remember, the pandemic really threw us off balance. I mean, the world off balance for a number of different things. But at the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, we were able to continue in the dispensation of justice because we have the e-litigation portal. So whereas we would have relied heavily on manual or physical files in the past. Now we have them electronically, so we were able to move somewhat seamlessly, if I may add, from that manual system to that digital system to allow the court to continue its work. And of course, added with Zoom hearings, we were able to continue to ensure that justice was dispensed to the persons of the citizens of the Eastern Caribbean, which is really the court's mandate, in a fair, efficient, and prompt manner.
All right. Now, you did mention efficiency. That's one of the things I think a lot of people were looking for out of this initiative, because in the Eastern Caribbean, of course, you're joining us from St. Lucia, and in the BVI for certain, we hear it from the public all the time, their concerns about the efficiency of the court system. So would you say for certain that the e-litigation portal has helped bolster the efficiency of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court?
There is no doubt in our minds that it has. And of course, maybe some persons may not be able to see the direct results overnight, as if anything else. But we can say that we faced an issue with the backlog, and for various reasons. Some of the challenges that the e-litigation portal may not have been able to fix, because we have some challenges with, for instance, transcripts of proceedings. But for the other areas in which we could have ensured that our efficiency was enhanced, the e-litigation portal has, in fact, allowed us to be more efficient in the time it takes to hear matters, in the time it takes to get a file to a judge for hearing, the time for service of a document, for so many various aspects of the entire legal process. It has really and truly revolutionized the way in which we have continued to dispense justice. So I think it has allowed us to be more efficient.
Wonderful. Now, of course, members of the public are looking on to join the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court for the welcoming of the 2024 new year. Now, through my knowledge of these activities, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court starts off the year in prayer, but this year, it seems that something different is going on. I noticed that plans are really focused on what will be happening in Grenada. So can you fill us in on the activities we could expect to see and how members of the public from across the Eastern Caribbean can join in?
Yes, thank you. Well, the opening of the law year is really one of the highlights of the court's calendar. And every year at the start of the year, the calendar year, our term one, we look forward to ushering the law year. And before COVID, we would have our individual sittings in each member state and territory. But of course, we had to make some changes with COVID, especially since persons couldn't gather as freely without restrictions. So we started off with a pre-recorded opening, then we sort of moved to a hybrid where we had the court appearing in person, other persons coming in via Zoom. And this year, we are pleased to announce that our opening is going to be a full opening in the state of Grenada, where the Spice Isle, I should say, who they are getting ready to host us, because on the roster, it's now their turn. Every year, we do a different island. So this year, all roads lead to Grenada. And we have our Chief Justice, of course, who will be delivering the feature address at this special sitting, coming in live from Grenada, as well as all of the other speakers. So we wouldn't have anyone coming in via Zoom. Everyone will be present. And in addition to that, we have a number of our High Court judges who from throughout the region who will be joining us in Grenada as well to celebrate this opening. You see, this is the final opening for Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice Pereira, as our Chief Justice. So Her Ladyship will be delivering her exit address, as we like to refer to it as, and we wanted to make it very special. We try to do things different every year, and this year we wanted to make it a lot more grand and extra special. So we are not going to leave out the other 8 member states and territories, or no, at all. The opening will instead be streamed via local GIS stations, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, the court's website. So really and truly, every single person, not just in the region, but throughout the world, will be able to celebrate with us, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the opening of the law year 2024. It's going to be awesome.
Amazing. Now, of course, you did mention this is her exit address, and that is of great significance to the BVI because, you know, from across the Caribbean, of course, we are one Caribbean, but we do stand behind our own very much. If I'm correct, she hails from Virgin Gorda. So
I
we can expect the
know.
BVI to really tune in
I
to
know.
be a part of this historic event.
Yes, indeed. And not only would the BVI have to tune in via the mediums that I mentioned before, but there are also some activities going on in the BVI, if you just allow me to speak about these. So as you mentioned before, we start off with prayer. So this year, there will be a special church service at the Apostolic Faith Church in Roadtown, and that's going to commence at 8 a.m. And there's just a reminder that during the service, there will be a customary collection for a worthy charity, which will be donated to the Family Support Network. After that, this year it will be a little different. There will not be the regular procession of the judiciary and the guard of honor inspection, but instead all roads will lead to the Saka building, where the civil courtroom is on the 4th floor, where everyone is asked to be seated by at least 9:50 a.m. because promptly at 10 o'clock, Her Ladyship's feature address from Grenada will be broadcast live. So our special season from Grenada is going to start at 10. So persons in the BVI could join the legal fraternity, join the bench, the bar at the special church service, and then over into the Sakal building. If you can't make any of these venues, then as we said, we cater for everyone. You can tune into your local GIS stations, or if you rather tune in online, and you can witness this historic event that the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court is so proud to present to the persons of the OECS.
All right, amazing. Now, I think one question that comes to the minds of a lot of members of the public who may not be familiar with the annual activities is what is the significance and importance, I should say, of celebrating the courts, celebrating this new year for the courts and the activities undertaken by courts in the Eastern Caribbean? Could you shed some light for us?
You see, most persons would look at their country, their island, their territory, if you want to call it, and have a sense of pride in it because of the culture, the history, because it's their home. Yes? We see the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in the same way. It is our court. It's a court that belongs to the people of the Eastern Caribbean. And as with every other thing that we hold dear to our being, because it is ours, we invite everyone to embrace the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in the same way. It's not just my court, neither is it just yours or the judges or Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice Pereira. It's for every single citizen of the Eastern Caribbean. And I think once persons start to realize and identify with the fact that this is my court, they then would move to investing into this course, investing into ensuring that they take pride in knowing what their court is all about, knowing what this court is doing for them, their family members, their children, and generations to come, and just knowing the importance of having a court that is ours, regionally, that is ours. So this is what the opening of the law year does. It impresses upon persons that this is the time you can come to hear what the court has been doing for you, how the court has been working on your behalf to improve your quality of life in your various member state or territory, and importantly, to hear what you can expect of the court moving into the future, as our theme suggests this year, the ECSC looking to the future. So that is why we keep encouraging persons to come out, get involved, get excited about your court. Too often we see the court as maybe just another arm of government, and we don't give it the importance to us as a people or a nation as it deserves. And I think that the opening of the law year gives us a chance to impress this upon persons so they can understand better what this court is about.
Now that was beautifully put, and I think that's a good message to wrap up this interview on. Of course, leave members of the public thinking and very interested in coming to hear what is said during the address. I just want to thank you so much for your time again. And of course, we're looking forward to joining you and the entire legal fraternity on Friday for the proceedings.
Thank you so much for having me. So we just want to tell everyone, come out on Friday, the 12th of January, 2024, to witness the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's opening of the law year 2024. It will be broadcast live from the Spice Isle of Grenada. There are activities in the BVI that you can join in, and we advise and we encourage everyone to do so. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Amazing. And of course, thank you so much to our viewers for joining us here for another 284 Media feature interview. I'm Jhaka Wedding, and I'll be seeing you again soon. So have yourself a safe day and stay tuned to 284 Media for more great content.